Hey y'all, I was feeling inspired. This might be a bad idea, I don't know, but I was feeling inspired again. So I'm at 1:53 a.m. as I'm about to watch this episode because I'm like, oh, we're one episode. This is the one episode, and then it's the finale, as far as I'm aware. So that would suck to get the who's going to be in the finale spoiled somehow before then. So might as well cut out any risk of that and watch it now so nothing can sneak by on me. All right. And I feel like I have enough energy to do it. Surprising amount of energy considering the time. Usually I'm really learning more this time. But it could easily backfire. But still, I'm here chilling. I'm chilling. I was gonna work on editing a Survivor 41 episode anyway, the last episode, but I'm gonna do this instead. Okay. If you're new here, you can click the link in the description to see the highlights of my reaction and then come back for the discussion. It's a fun time. Also, if you're new, going through Survivor Palau for the first time ever with my friend Alec. So we're going through all the old school seasons. I'm taking him through his Survivor journey for the first time. So that's something to look out for as well. All right. Thanks. Football players love leaving everything out there, huh? They love leaving it out there. I don't even remember a time a football players said that they like keeping it in there. All right, so episode 12 of Survivor 41. Wow, what a trip. What a trip. A lot of strategizing, a lot of really interesting stuff. I mean, it's interesting that the Shannon vote out seems to be the linchpin, the one little thing that set everything in motion to like dismantle that core four. Like Shan, Liana, Danny back to back to back. And Deshaun possibly could come out on top from this, though. That's the thing with this final five. Like, anything can happen. Deshaun wins immunity. Deshaun wins fire making. Like Deshaun wins immunity, and then it's either immunity or fire making. So there's a lot more safety nets in place here for certain players. I mean, like Ricard, who is still seemingly the top dog here. I don't know. It's also cushion for him as well, And Xander, who was once the public enemy number one, is now like chilling. He's chilling. So I think he's got a good end game chance here. And what a story he would have if they let him get to the final tribal and be like, wow, do you guys remember how it was when I was going into the merge and everybody had their eyes on me and everybody knew I had this idol and whatnot? He's still chilling with that idol. He'll take that to his grave. It's crazy. Danny, I really liked. I liked his more subtle gameplay and how laid back he was. The whole idol shenanigans, where it's like, did he find the idol? It's so interesting the way they presented it, because he did seem like he was really giddy when he came back. But and I don't know if that was what did it. It still might have been that social capital that Deshaun was talking about, where he just had more of it. And so he was able to leverage that in the end and edge out Danny. But it's also possible that the idol is what pushed him over. I don't know. Because that could, if it was really up in the air and they still thought there was a chance he had the idol and maybe held on to it, then that would still give him reason to vote in that direction. But it more so feels like it was the alliance thing between Heather or Xander, Erica, and Deshaun. But now that I think of it, well, first of all, the fact that he decided to drop this truth bomb against Erica was a wild move, even though she was keeping him. And then the fact that when he cast his vote, Xander said, it seemed like it was more of a truth kamikaze. Did he just like think that was enough to turn the vote on them and then on him, and then they told him otherwise, maybe, and like they cut that out? So why would you say that otherwise? That's wild. Maybe for the future, like a next vote kind of thing, like as a kamikaze, as in you won't come to the final three anymore. Maybe. That's so interesting. It was really a wild maneuver from Deshaun. Really courageous of him to do that, because most people are more to be like Danny and just like lay back, because you don't know what way it's going, but you don't want to look back and be like, oh, I was the one who caused that to happen because I did something wild. But Deshaun just went for it, and it's like his gut was wrong, it seems, but it still worked out for him. So it's like he wasn't even punished for having a bad read on that one. But it's interesting, this whole narrative of Ricard being the best player is just out there now, it seems. And that's the chaos that comes with having like the Final Four immunity or fire making challenge and stuff like that, is that it's a lot more like anything can happen because there's so many challenges in that thing involved. So it's like, and you only need to get to the final 3, so it's only a couple steps away. They're right there. So even if Ricard is a clear target, I wouldn't even put his odds at making it and winning the game very low, just on the fact that he's the best challenge performer there. And so just by those odds, if he wins the next one, he already has good odds of making it to the end. So it's just interesting to think about. I love that we have, seeing like Deshaun, Ricard, and Xander, the final 3 would be really interesting. 3 very different paths. Erica is definitely coming into her own more than she was, for sure. But obviously, I would rather not have her be there because she would just be like a 0 vote finalist. I think all the others would have interesting stories to tell, at least. But I don't know. Odds are Heather will make it there. Odds are. Unless she somehow ends up in the fire-making challenge against somebody, but I don't see that happening. I don't know. But it was really interesting that Deshaun, Erica, and Xander ended up on this reward team, randomly put together, and that just kind of worked out. So they made this final 3 deal. But, his Truth Kamikaze might have thrown a wrench in that moving forward. We'll see. Either way, it got him through this vote, at least. There's that social capital. But they really presented everything as if Deshaun was going. And Deshaun, seemingly thought he was going. He was, rolling his eyes at the tie vote. All the theatrics. Now it's time to vote me out. And I think he told Danny, I think he was the one that said, give him hell, brother. I think he said that. So he was just I'm about to go. But his gut was wrong, every step of the way, it seems. I felt more so there was shaping up to be potential Deshaun being voted out is because in the beginning they had so much talk of his comments at the previous tribal council. So I was thinking maybe this is his goodbye episode right before the finale. But no, it might have been part of their narrative to try to make it make us think it was going that way, but also just giving us a little more insight into everybody's thoughts on it. I liked hearing Erica talk about feeling guilty about voting out Liana because of the woman factor. Survivor fans have been talking about for a while. It's been so long since there's been a woman to win. Is it actually Sarah? Has it been that long? Yeah, it really has been since Game Changers, huh? Yeah, it's been a while. So yeah, so it's interesting to hearing people feel guilty about that sort of thing, Erica's ideally it would be me, though now, I want a woman to win. Ideally it would be me. But it's interesting, there's a lot of representation just looking at the final 5. Actually, now that I think of it, it's there's a lot of different things checked off. Xander is the really young guy. Erica is a person of color and a woman. Heather is a woman, but also in that higher age range that usually doesn't find too much success in the game. Ricard is hard of hearing. Talked about that earlier. And he's gay. And then Deshaun is black. That's really cool to think of it. It's wow, we gotta run the gamut and talk about a diverse cast. It's coming to fruition here. So get ready for a Xander win, baby. It might be Xander win, honestly, but yeah. I'm just excited going to the finale because we actually have a bunch of people with different prospects of winning, There wasn't that in even if you look back at Winners at War. Well, only by the nature of there being Edge of Extinction, there were more possibilities of a winner. But in terms of the end game, it was Tony, and then maybe if Tony gets taken out, Sarah could be there. But other than that, it was just all Tony. It's just exciting having a few people in the end that all have a good chance, and also have really interesting and different paths to the end. So it's gonna be exciting to see that play out. Next week, come back for the finale of Survivor 41. Oof. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please go check out our review of Eternals, the MCU Marvel film Eternals. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to our podcast feed, like the video, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and like us on Facebook, Tarqaron, TWO. All right.